Today I'm 38, and if you're in your 20s or early 30s, please watch this, because these are the lessons that I wish somebody told me when I was your age. Choose a mountain worth suffering for, because challenges are everywhere. The moment you wake up in the morning, you have to pick your battles, and picking the wrong battle can mean that you're wasting a few months or few years of your life, investing energy in the wrong direction. And when you look back, that time is gone. And time here is a real asset, because once it's gone, you can have all the money in the world, but it won't come back. The moment you do anything or you set some goals, you will eventually have unforeseen consequences. Life is lived forward but is understood backward. And sometimes you pick choices in a way that is not aligned with you, which will lead to wasting months or years of your life. And you just understand the choice looking backward. Energies are limited and time is even more scarce. Like in Tetris, mistakes sum up fast and success disappears quickly. And when you're young, you think you have unlimited days, and the brain cannot comprehend how fast time goes because you have limited references of time. But when you get on your 30s or 40s, you start valuing time like it's an actual scarce thing. So make sure you pick your battles wisely. Treat health like the foundation, not like a hobby. Most people think future me will deal with the consequences, but eventually future you will come and you will have to deal with the consequences. The body, your vessel, is the only one investment that will matter in the end, because people that are healthy have 99 problems and people that are sick just have one. So make sure you invest in understanding how your body works, understanding how food works as chemicals that you put into the body and nutrients, and how to heal inflammation, build a strong body, and all the things that will set you apart from 99% of the world, because these will be the difference between crawling and running when you are 70s or 80s, spending most of your time in a hospital and being outside carefree, while most people of your age are suffering and are chronically sick. When I was a kid, my mom and my dad had problems with their teeth. My grandma had heart problems, and my uncle as well. My grandma had a stroke, she died. My uncle had a heart attack, supposedly, and he died. So growing up, I thought I would have developed problem with my teeth, which I did until I figured out, and problem with my heart. But then I started studying, and I realized that there is something called methylation, which is basically a chemical process which activates the genes that you inherited from your parents or relatives. And if those genes are never activated, which happens through diet and lifestyle, you're gonna be safe. It's like holding dynamite inside of you, but you never set it off. Your parents might have had cancer or diabetes, but because you are keeping yourself healthy, you have the gene, but it's not activated. So your genes are not your future. The choices you do with your lifestyle and the habits you have will determine your future. Your daily routine is your destiny in disguise. You know the saying, you don't choose your life, you choose your habits, and your habits will determine your life. Everything is compounding. Everything you choose, everything you perform daily, it's not like going from zero to hero within one day or overnight success. It's the things you decide to invest time in constantly that will determine the kind of person you will be in 1 year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and so on. When I was 30 years old, my ex-girlfriend at the time told me that I had a horrible body for being 30. And she was right. So I started working out every single day, going to the gym, going to Krav Maga, focusing on my nutrition. And eventually my body completely transformed. And within 2 years, I put up 6 kilos of muscles. I started focusing really on nutrition. I learned about biohacking, and I started reading a lot of books on how to improve my health and how food was directly related to the kind of chemicals and hormones that you produce inside of your body. Own your outcomes, even when it's not fair. Most of people live life feeling completely entitled, like the world owed them something. But life is not like that. And most people cannot take responsibility. So if you want to distance yourself from what most people do and the outcomes they get, you have to develop a sense of responsibility for anything you do. And this does not mean blaming yourself for anything that happens, but taking responsibility, figuring out what you did wrong, so next time you can do it better. And here you have two types of people. The ones that never start because they focus on the whole rather than the baby steps and they feel paralyzed, or they had a negative experience so they got burned and they're not touching or attempting the subject anymore. And then you have the ones that set expectations so high that when things go slightly wrong or not as they had expected, they get disappointed and they stop. You have to be in the third category, the ones that understand that things, actions, and habits compound daily and progress 1% at a time, being happy of the little transformation they are undergoing every single day. And whenever they fail, they don't take it personally, they don't blame anybody, they don't blame themselves. They understand that every failure is a lesson. So the faster you fail, the faster you learn. Nobody owes you anything in life, not your parents, not your relatives, not your friends, not your partners. So everything you want, you have to go and get it. And the most important thing here is to reframe anything positively, because it's so easy to find yourself in a downward spiral and get stuck focusing on that rather than on what you learned from this failure. And I remember this story from an entrepreneur, a woman, saying that the father trained her and her brother by asking every single day, what did you fail on today? Action beats overthinking every single time. Most people spend years to start with simple tasks, thinking about the pros and the cons, which allows the brain to form the most negative scenarios, which are just in your head. Something I learned through the years that helped me in any fields is show proofs to your brain, not promises. So instead of thinking what can go wrong if I jump from the cliff, you jump and you figure it out later. Please apply your intelligence to this. Of course, you don't take unnecessary risks, but you start and you figure out all the things that you need to proceed further later. And these will set you apart from 99% of the world which has massive plans, but they never start. So years go by and one day they wake up thinking, where is the time gone? Start now and figure it out later. My favorite quote is from Adventure Time, from Jake the dog. In order to get good at anything, you have to kind of suck at it for a while first. Consistency is masculine power in motion. We live in a world of dualities where the feminine and the masculine are equally important in their own way, because women have this calming and grounding energy, the motherly hug, everything will be alright. You just have to relax and be calm and patient. And men have this thriving force that breaks through things and makes things done. Sometimes it's explosive, but you have to learn how to channel this energy. And most people waste this energy by focusing on the wrong thing or releasing their inner energy into things that do not matter. Think about the free things in the world. Porn and casual dating without a purpose, eating horrible stuff that depletes your body's energy, chemicals that you put on, and procrastination. Today we have TV series everywhere and entertainment. Instead, if you maintain this energy, you can channel it into so many things, creating something for the world, channeling your inner artist into something, giving love to one person. And as a young man, as a young person, you do not understand this thing. You think it's just blubbering, but it's the only thing that matters. The way you preserve your energy and the way you use it. Because anything and everybody out there is trying to harvest it for their own benefit. Your biology sets your ceiling. By mastering your body, your vessel, not only you will live longer and better, but it will also pave the way for opportunities that most people will not be able to access. Think about your energy levels, the kind of health you will still have when you're 50, 60, 70s and so on. The kind of partner that you will attract, because that depends on your body smell, which is produced by hormones, which is influenced by the food that you eat and the chemicals you introduce into your body. The energy levels that you will have that will help you to stay focused on tasks for longer periods of time, and the kind of kids that you will put into this world, because their health, their immune system, their brain activity depends on your health as well. Solitude is where the real standards are revealed, because spending long periods of time on your own will unlock the ability to hang out with people that you love to hang out with, not to hang out with people just because you need to be surrounded with people. And from this you will figure out what kind of people you really like, and it will help you to set boundaries on the kind of people or the kind of behaviors that you do not accept in your life and are not aligned to the kind of person that you want to become. Your attention is your most valuable asset, because if you didn't notice, we are at war. It's a war for attention. Everybody's trying to harvest your time. The average person is looking at their screen for 5.5 hours every single day. Dopamine addiction is the modern man's prison. And if you're able to understand this and protect yourself and your loved ones from this, you will set yourself free from most of the world. Develop social skills, social intelligence, and empathy early on, because these will open endless doors professionally and personally. And I don't care what kind kind of job you do or your time restrictions, but if you're in your 20s or early 30s, this is a must, especially if you're a man. It will create so many connections, and this is important because network is net worth. And if you are a man, it will help you to understand people and women, the way people react and talk and what it means. And to talk to women as well, develop charisma, and to attract the kind of person in your life that you want to have, rather than being satisfied with somebody that you don't really get along, but you don't really have any other option. It's better to choose from abundance than from scarcity. Eat like an adult. Do not overcomplicate things. Learn how to cook and learn how food interacts with your body specifically. Maybe you're thriving on something that other people do not like or they're allergic to, and you feel your body reacting with more energy or less energy to some things. So learn how to cook and learn what kind of body you have. And there are plenty of disciplines out there explaining these in a simple way. If it was me, I would start with Ayurveda. My basic rule, and it's gonna be strict, if it has more than 3 ingredients, I do not consider it food. And I know about this, but today is my birthday and I'm breaking this rule. Learn how to cook as soon as possible. And for most people it will be difficult. Time is scarce, but if you spend 15, 20, 30 minutes every single day learning how to implement new things into your cooking skills, at the end of 1 year you will be able to cook anything for you, and it will not depend anymore from packaged food or from restaurants. And I'm telling you, I work in restaurants, and you do not want to go eating out most of the time. You do not. Sleep is a stronger performance enhancer that you're allowed to use, because sleep regulates everything else. It regulates your brain activity, it regulates your hormones, your energy levels. Prioritize sleep like your life depends on it. There are plenty of studies on how the lack of sleep is directly related to health issues when you get older, or neurological issues as well, dementia, Alzheimer, and so on. Make sure you master it and prioritize it, because thinking I can sleep when I'm dead will eventually lead to your grave faster than you think. Walk, exercise, and get exposed to sun daily. This fixes more than most of the biohacks and pills out there. Measure the things that matters: sleep, training, daily walks, spending, how much money you make, how much you drink, and the food and the chemicals that you introduce into your body. Upgrade your environment before you upgrade anything else. Most times your lack of motivation or discipline is influenced by your surrounding and the people you surround yourself with. So instead of changing all the other things, focus on the environment that you spend most of your time in. This is your house, your workplace, and the places where you spend most of the time in. Remove energy leaks at all costs. This includes people, habits, hacks, and subscription, because money are energy. So whatever sucks it out is not good for you. If you spend time with people and you feel like you are depleted of energy after, it means that these people is, willingly or not, sucking energy from you. Picasso was a very famous energy vampire, and he knew it. He was spending time with people that after were feeling depleted of their energy, and then spending all the night up producing art. And he kept doing this all over his life with women and friends. So if you have a Picasso in your life, it doesn't matter what kind of benefits it brings. The energy that it sucks is not balanced to what it takes. Your calendar is either a weapon or a trap. And this you should know by yourself. Some people work amazing with planning, some others need to have things loose. And even if you're planning, you have to think for yourself, am I planning because it helps me to get things done? Or am I planning to create more steps in between me and the work that I have to do and I'm procrastinating on? Do the hardest thing before noon. This is an amazing advice that I got from the 7 habits of highly successful people. First thing first. So now I know that I have to do certain things in the morning, otherwise they will not be done, because I will find excuses as the day progresses to not make them. So as you wake up, put your priorities first. Everything else can wait. The man you want to be has non-negotiables. This is pretty straightforward, and it applies to women as well. It will be proposed so many things in life, so it's extremely important that you know what's the best way for you specifically to choose every single thing in life and prioritize your goals over the distractions. The moment you choose something, you are skipping something else, and you have to filter everything through the lens of, is this helping me to become the kind of person I want to be, or is it dragging me away from that vision I have for myself? An amazing tool I found over the years is human design. It's a discipline created in 1987 from a guy that called himself Ra Uruhu. That was designed for parents to understand better their kids and help them to take better choices for them. And this is spot on. You will find yourself 100% in there, and it will help you to do the one thing that I think is the most important thing in your life: how to make better choices for yourself. Discipline is choosing long-term respect over short-term pleasure. You will be faced with so many temptations in life, and the trick here is to practice that part of the brain, I think it's the amygdala, that it grows every time you say no to something that you feel tempted to say yes. In this way, this part of the brain will expand, and it will be easier to say no to the things that you know you should say no to, but you keep failing and saying yes to. This can be anything: eating that food that you know is bad for you, keep hanging out with friends instead of studying, or working on the things that you want to work on, but you keep procrastinating, choosing video games, booze, or drugs instead of working on the things that you know you should be working on. Learn to be bored. Boredom is where clarity returns. And this is something we are getting less and less accustomed to do, generation after generation. We cannot sit anymore without being distracted or distracting ourselves from something. Most of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit in darkness and in complete silence in a room by himself. The incapacity of people to regulate their nervous system. War, fights, eating too much. The moment you get bored, you focus more inward, you listen to your thoughts, you listen to your sensations, and you can regulate your body and the feelings you have. And for kids, this is even more important. How many times you go out and you see parents giving a massive iPad to these newborn babies? So if you want to learn and transfer some extremely useful skill, learn to sit by yourself in discomfort and in silence. So if you don't learn these, you won't even be able to transfer it to your kids, and the loop will never be broken. Fixing this will fix most of your problems in life. First thing first, build what really matters: health, wealth, and family. And the whole world is conspiring to remove yourself from the past to achieve these three things. Think about it. Food, water, and air are poisoned. It's very hard to get rich because the school system is perpetuating the mindset and the lack of skills to achieve it. And all the things that are working against family, promiscuity, porn, bad role models, are displayed and offered for free everywhere. So shut down the distractions and focus on these three things as soon as possible. Get comfortable to be disliked for your standards. As a man, it's very easy to be the nice guy and trying to sneak in from agreeing to anything that people and women say to you. And you're not understanding that by being your own self, with your own contrasting and unfiltered opinion, is what makes you attractive. Because you don't change your opinion because of the friends and the people you're hanging out with. You're clear with what you want, with your standards, and with your boundaries. This is the most polarizing thing you can do. You will filter the kind of people that will love you because who you are, to the people that hang out around you, or because they are attracted to the fake persona that you created so they can like you. Most of the people you hang out with today will disappear in a few years as you peel down the parts of your personality that are not serving you to become the kind of person you want to become. So the sooner, the better. Strong men set boundaries without explaining too much. Being apologetic is a very uncharismatic thing. It will make you prey of the person that wants to take advantage of you. It will let you say yes to things that you don't want to say yes to, leading in regret and a lot of anger. And most importantly, it wastes so much mental energy. So develop the ability to say no unapologetically, not in a rude way, without having to explain yourself every single time. Choose a life partner like it's a business acquisition, because this is the most important choice you can do in your life. Your partner will influence every single choice you will make in life. It will influence the way your kids are raised, the level of health and wealth that you will develop. So if you're choosing somebody because of their wealth, appearance, or because it's comfortable, you're setting yourself up for failure. Choose somebody that is aligned with your values, your goals in life, and your vision of the world. To pick somebody thinking I can change them is going to be a waste of time. Kids don't listen to advice, they copy behaviors. So if you want your kids to do something, you don't yell at them, you don't bribe them. You start embodying the kind of behaviors and habits that you want them to follow. Your job can be outsourced, your responsibility cannot. This makes me think of Eiichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, that over the years kept saying that he wants to take the major decisions around the manga because if everything goes well, the team is rewarded. But if everything goes wrong and a decision turns out to be bad, he wants to be the only person responsible to be blamed for. Now, if you go to the average workplace, whenever something goes wrong, you will hear the average person saying, "It's not my fault, it's not my responsibility." A clear sign that the average man is just a boy in a grown-up body. And this applies to women as well, by the way. Learn how to take responsibility from anything, not to blame yourself, but to be accountable, because the way you do anything is the way you do everything. You can pay somebody to do tasks, but you can't pay somebody to carry the consequences. The quality of your life equals the quality of the conversations you can handle. Think about that. When you hang out with your friends, with your family, with your partner, what do you talk about? You talk about people, you talk about things, or you talk about ideas. If you feel the urge of gossiping about people all the time, it says something about you. So develop the habit of removing gossiping from your life altogether and start talking about ideas. Don't tie your self-worth to outcomes, tie it to the process. When I used to work in restaurants, even if I was a replacement, I always did the hard way. And I'm not patting myself on the shoulder here. I'm just saying I was not taking unnecessary shortcuts. And people were wondering why you're doing this way. The moment I will leave this place, I will do with the habits I develop, not just a wage. Don't fear failure. Fear leaving the same ER 10 times. If you look at yourself 10 years backward, if you're still the same person, it means you wasted 10 years of your life. So try to improve yourself little by little every single day. Because the more and the faster you fail, the more you will learn the lessons that you need to learn. Build skills daily, high leverage skills. Personally, I do not invest as much into material things, but in skills and habits. And for everything that I wanted to learn in life, I always paid for a mentor. Because if it will take you 1 to 5 to 10 years mastering a skill, paying somebody that made it before you will speed up your learning curve. And later on in life, you can connect all these dots, all these skills and habits you learn to unlock more opportunities and making yourself more valuable. Public speaking is leverage. Learn it and it will open so many doors for you. In my 20s, I made it a priority to learn 2 things: talking to any strangers and talking to women no matter where they were. These helped me to develop so much social intelligence and to connect with people anywhere no matter the circumstances. Most people don't take opportunities because they create these negative scenarios in their head before they even happened. The divorce rate is 50% plus in most of the major countries in the world because people choose from scarcity and not from abundance. Imagine you could talk to any women out there, learning how to be charismatic and not nervous around them. How many more opportunities it would create? You could go in any city, any day, and you will be able to create new friendships, become part of a community easily, and opening up new opportunities. Money freedom starts with saving, then investing, and then owning. And I wish this lesson was transferred to me when I was very young, but I learned this after I was 30. Imagine if you start doing this in high school or even earlier, placing a little bit of your money into something that grows with time, and the compounding effect is working in your favor. Instead, most of us are not taught this in school from the parents and are left when they are 30 or 40 realizing that their money is quickly evaporating in their bank account, which limits their purchasing power and the opportunities they get in life. So make a priority to understand money and investing. Stop buying status, buy optionality, skills, passports, investments. Most people want to impress their neighbors, their friends, their parents, and they waste so much money in the effort. There are whole industries that are focusing on this, on creating marketing that makes you buy things you do not really need to impress people that you do not really like. Remove yourself from these as soon as possible and start investing money that improve the quality of your life without having to signal to other people. When I was in Melbourne, I was living in the countryside and the neighbors had these massive lion statues in the entrance. And I asked my owner, so they must be rich. It was a Greek family. And she told me, no, they bought all this stuff to give the impression to people that they are rich while they're making debts. This is insanity. Do not do this. By the way, the average life expectancy for men is 74 years old, which places middle life crisis to 35 to 37, not 50. Passports and residencies are assets, not luxury flexes. Imagine there is a crisis and all in a sudden your government is overreaching, but you have the option to leave and live in another country. If the option wasn't there, you would be stuck with a government that does things that you do not like or approve, but you are forced to stay in the country. Freedom is being functional anywhere. Most people dislike money. They associate money to bad people, but money are freedom. And the only thing that would allow you to maintain your lifestyle regardless of relocating or changing lifestyle is money. Because when everything else crumbles, your routine or the situation of your nation. Money allows you to maintain your freedom and walk away from situations that you do not really like. So your top priority should be to increase your wealth as much as possible. Stay curious even when you think you know everything, and question anything at any time. Because thinking that you know everything about a topic will let you miss massive opportunities, then you will look back in regret. Most of what you learn in life comes from listening to others and confronting with others that had real experiences about what they talk about. Surround yourself with people whose standards is your life goal. You are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. This applies from when you are a child to when you are an adult. So if as a kid you spend most of your time with a troublesome kid, you will acquire their personality traits. If when you're an adult you spend most of your time hanging out with friends which smoke and drink, you will get those habits. For me, at this stage of my life, I'd rather spend time with people that talk about ideas. They think about making more money, creating things. They are entrepreneurs, they are artists, they are open-minded. These are the kind of people that I thrive with, that I want to spend time with and be involved with. The past wasn't wasted if you extract some lessons from it and you apply them on your life moving forward. Most of us has the tendencies of getting stuck on the negative and in regret, which is very low frequency energy, and think about all the what ifs, not focusing on what could be if you change some things in your life. This is a massive waste of time, energy and resources. So instead of getting stuck on the person that you could have been, start working on the kind of person that you want to become, making a lesson of all the past mistakes. The one mistake that I did growing up is not understanding that people come with a lot of wisdom. So I was never confronting with strangers, with old people, with my relatives as well, my grandmas, my grandpas, my parents. Be open-minded, spend time listening to old people and the kind of people that have accomplished exactly the same thing that you want to accomplish, because this will help you changing the trajectory that you have in life, adjusting to your goals and the kind of person you want to become. Instead, I was saying, I don't need your advice, I know better, which led to a lot of wasted time. Take the advice, but also consider that most people don't know anything about anything and they want to give advice. Extract what will serve you in that moment and make your own lessons out of it. If I so far is by standing on the shoulders of giants, the number one skill I would focus on is foreseeing, the ability to guess what will happen in the future. Because if you can unlock this, even at the slightest, you will have a superpower. And in my opinion, you do this by looking at the past, understanding the patterns that are still applicable to the future. If you're feeling a bit lost, I hope this video will help you to get in the right direction and understand that this feeling will not last forever. But there are some lessons that will keep showing up in your life. And unless you learn them, you will keep being stuck in the same spot you are. So make sure you get the best out of the time you have. I'll see you in the next video.